Hi, I'm Annika Johnson from Al Johnson's in Sister Bay. I hope you enjoy my new video series called Door County Girl. These are stories of my life, the people and places that I love, and of course how we all survive here in northern Wisconsin. You can come back as often as you like, but don't forget to subscribe to Al's YouTube channel. I'll be posting lots of really cool new videos. So let's go.
Hello, welcome to another Door County Girl episode without the girl.
Without the girls, yeah. Door County, couple of Door
so
County
Annika
dudes.
Is really busy. It is, we snuck away. Well, we both played hooky. Would you call it sick? And I have my foot. I said my foot was really swollen.
When are we gonna tell Annika that she's been canned?
She's been replaced. Yeah, no, she has not been replaced. So that no one start writing me letters. You'd be amazed at the email I would get.
What'd you say your address was again?
Exactly. We'd be like getting kneecapped out in the parking lot behind Al's. But so it's gonna be Rolf and I here today. So you get Door County Dude.
And we're gonna make a Door County Dude stew. It's gonna be vegetarian because that's my forte. But what's neat about this is it's a great fall recipe, and it's going to use some vegetables that you don't normally use. You usually walk right past them, and which always is kind of exciting for me because when you get to the checkout counter, you're like, what is this
what's
thing?
The number on this one?
Yeah.
They're like, what is this thing?
So, all right, so here we go. It's a simple one. It's like a one-pot meal. It's ready within a half hour or so. The prep time is actually kind of fun because it's super, super, super easy. So,
yeah, you actually have a lot of like my favorite fall things. I love like Brussels sprouts as a kid for me was like the most hated vegetable on earth.
Yeah.
And now it is probably the most loved one. I love my mom, but just boiling it in non-salty water didn't really do much for it.
Yeah, and I was never a big Brussels sprouts fan either. And then somebody, when I was eating, meat and stuff, the one with the bacon that was fantastic.
Bacon fat with that, and cuts into smaller pieces, so
it was one of my dad's favorite vegetables, and and he'd eat them any old way. But like you, I would say, not just steamed.
Now for me, it's probably up there on one. I mean, asparagus is number one for me, and then Brussels sprouts maybe number two, maybe three. I don't know. There's something about a good green bean though that is just really tasty, like out of the garden.
And this is another thing. I usually use canned green beans, but not for this recipe because this recipe has every grocery store. Well, with the exception of this, maybe you're going to run into these things. And like I say, this is one of the other ones when you could say, "Hey, I'm having a soup party. Kit, bring me over a celery root." And
like I got one in my pantry.
Yeah. But if everybody brought something, it's like, what am I going to do with this thing? We'll sit down right here, have a couple drinks, and we'll talk about it. So
okay, perfect. So
here we are. All right. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to clean this bad boy up, and then this is the one. I don't know if you've gone past it in the grocery store. It almost looks like something out of Alien.
Yeah, it's very brain-like.
Or Predator. Doesn't it?
It does.
And it's like, there's no flipping way.
We have to make like a prank one where something just jumps out at you. Like, oh my God.
Like, well, remember that when the computers first came out and you were detailed trying to get through the maze, and right before in the end, it scared the heck out of me. But this one here, it is a creepy looking thing, but it's actually pretty darn good. So what I want you to do is I want you to cut this off, and then cut this off, so it gives you a stable point, and then we're going to peel this. So.
And then we're doing all the root action here, so like right about there?
Yep. Okay. And so you're going to want about a cup of this chopped up, rough chop. So. Yeah, you can, because we're going to peel the rest of this off. So I usually get two flat working areas there. Yep, perfect. Now you can go ahead and just kind of peel it like a pineapple. Yep. Have you ever cooked anything with a celery root before?
I have. I made like a soup that had celeriac. I think is
that's what some people call it. Some people call it turnip root.
I think you find it a lot in like French cuisine. Like it's sort of a great addition into.
This is a French recipe. If I hack it, so I hack it. It's a Pot-Au-Feu.
You smell it when you cut into it, and it has this really great. I mean, it does have a celery smell to it.
It smells like celery salt to me, like the seed itself.
Yeah, I think you're sort of right on there.
And this is not a finicky recipe. It's no finesse to it all because we're just going to rough chop all the vegetables.
So do you want this chopped up
It's
then?
more like a stew, yeah. So go ahead and cut it just however you want to cut it, and
Okay.
it's going to be more like a stew. Meanwhile, I'm going to peel a couple carrots. And this is another great recipe for if you're a camper, because a lot of these don't need to be refrigerated.
Yeah.
So you can carry these around with you.
I like the sort of the idea that just the hiking, I can make a stew without having any kind of refrigeration.
You know, some people would hike, you know, and they might go to a fishing spot. I actually like to hike and go to a little campfire spot and then just cook yourself something.
Yeah, I know we've been talking about doing a cooking episode with just outdoor. I think that would be fun.
You don't have to be there overnight. You
Gearing
just,
up
you
for
know,
next summer.
just
So
a destination.
Is this small enough here?
Oh yeah, plenty.
Okay.
It can even be larger if you want.
Okay, sorry.
So go ahead and toss those in there. And I'm going to borrow your knife. So go ahead and just cut the carrots like the same, just kind of chunk them.
So we're going big.
Yeah, it don't matter because we're just
Well,
going
I guess when like being that it's a vegetarian one, you sort of want like heartier pieces because you normally see that with like larger chunks of like meat.
Yeah, and it's not like a soup when you ladle it up, you know, it's like, oh, I need, you know, a whole spoonful of carrots. You just really need one or two of each vegetable in there.
And you want this whole guy, right?
Sure, and you can chunk it a little bigger if you want.
I will do that.
And if I didn't say so, this here is a turnip. You can use parsnips, you could use potatoes.
Yeah, I thought you were going to give me the trivia, like what is the vegetable?
I get a lot of these confused.
Well, because I love parsnips too. Is one of my favorite.
Kind of like a carrot, yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
go ahead and flatten both sides of that and do the same thing. Hope I can throw all this stuff in there too yet. If I save this one for later, that'll be enough. We don't want to overpower it with one.
Do you find one of these vegetables will be a little more?
I do find, you know, I didn't put, I think sometimes the parsnips if I get carried away. So that's why I went with the turnip. I'm just going to make a quick trip to the trash can and get rid of some of this. I think Kit was telling me one of the first Door County episodes when we were cooking here, he had a garbage can. I was dropping everything here. And one of the concerns, what he said, that people,
a lot of comments.
People were
on
writing
this.
in and says, where's he throwing all the garbage?
Yeah,
on the floor?
Like I had a trash can here, and then he was just throwing it there just because I'm like, oh, I'll have something close by so he doesn't have to turn around.
So here, we're gonna peel these and cut these in half.
Okay.
So if you want to go ahead. And I usually take the nub off first,
Yeah,
and then I
that's
peel them.
exactly how I do it. Or you peel them down even?
Yeah.
So I usually cut them, and then it sort of just falls off for me.
Yeah, the ones that come loosest, so I just take those.
Okay.
And meanwhile, I'll take the tips off these green beans.
So going into Thanksgiving, you have any big plans for that since we're sort of around this time?
I don't know. Last year, it was rather small for us, and we just kind of cooked everything, believe it or not, at the restaurant.
Wow.
That's the key about having
I would. Just
when you
for
have a
the
restaurant,
dishwasher.
you can just go right in there, make a trash the place, and everything's pretty easy to, like, the dishwasher's key.
Well, I think, you know, if you've cooked in a restaurant, you know how to clean the restaurant really quickly and easily too. So like that, just the dishwasher alone is worth its weight because you can throw some stuff that you wouldn't normally, that would take a little more work in a regular. And there's something about having a big slop sink and like sprayer. So is Jesper going to be back then for?
You know, I don't know if he's got a job that covers 6 weeks on and 2 weeks off. So I'm not sure how it's going to fall. I know my other brother John is getting married, so I'm going to Chicago for that. And I don't think Jesper's going to be around for that. So.
Johnny Boom Boom.
Yeah. So this one here, I'm just going to trim the edges off. Not necessary, but sometimes you get kind of.
So another thing I thought you could do, because we're chopping a lot of stuff, is you could reserve some of the the stuff that you chop off
to
and
make a
stock.
vegetable stock or a chicken stock, add a beef bone to it or something.
Yeah.
Sure.
But there's something good about, like, that's the one thing I love about Al's is you guys always use like a veggie stock in it, and I think it just gives it like a really complex flavor.
Oh yeah. So we got all that. Now we're going to throw a couple bay leaves in here, 3 to be exact, but doesn't have to be. Some thyme. We're going to put in about between 4 and 6 cups of water. What do I got? I'm going to add a couple more cups there.
Is that just to cover everything?
Yeah, more or less. And this is a sit and simmer kind of.
So I'm sort of surprised. Do you have any garlic in this at all, or no?
Oh, you know what? I totally forgot.
Oh, okay.
We're supposed to put 5 cloves of garlic in there.
5 cloves of garlic. Wow.
So this is, you could use coriander. I'm using fennel because I like fennel. You could use, I guess, caraway if you wanted to. I'm going to reserve. A lot of times I use fresh onions where I'll peel them, but I cheated a little bit here today.
Got some pearl onions.
I'm going to use pearl onions today. And then the garlic.
I do love pearl onions just because they do soak up all the flavor in the stock, and it has a great onion flavor with it, and then you bite into them and it's like, it's pretty awesome.
If you want to go ahead and
there you go.
throw those in there.
They just
those just chopped, yeah. I got 3 large ones here. Usually I use 4 or 5 in there, but woohoo!
Down. Jeez. Haven't done that since yesterday.
Out of nowhere.
Oh my gosh. Now it's really Door County dude here.
Yeah.
Just start throwing food around.
The peel was still on it, so we're good.
Yeah. Like we're concerned.
And then what I also have here, Kit, is some salt, but I also got some vegetable stock powder in here.
Okay.
And you can get your favorite kind. Lately I've been using this.
So there's an actual like powder?
Yeah,
like, it's not
you know,
like
and Nora used to make one, and I think they probably still do. They just don't carry it at the pig, but I've been using this one called Washington, which I like. Actually, sometimes on a cold night, I'll just take that and just sip it like a tea or a broth it's pretty tasty.
Okay.
That's all there is to it now. We're just going to throw this on the stove. And we're going to bring this to a boil. And after it boils, we're going to cover it. And then we're going to put a lid on it. And we're going to let it sit for about 25 minutes. And then that should be ready to go. And right in the end, I'm going to throw some pearl onions in there. And these, I got northern beans. Often I use butter beans. I prefer the baby butter beans when I can get them, but these are good too. And that's about it. So let's get ourselves 25 minutes. Now, through the magic of TV, Kitster, we got this Pot-Au-Feu. Pot-Au-Feu.
Pot-Au-Feu?
Yeah.
It's
like, the French vegetable stew.
Well, I'm excited. I love all things French.
Now, most people will realize that it's usually made with a nice big hunk of meat, maybe ham or pork or beef or chicken or lamb. But of course, I didn't go that route. Near the end of the cooking is when I like that. If I'm going to do pearl onions, I add them in the end. Otherwise, they seem to disintegrate. So I'm going to throw some of those in there. And I normally go with some butter beans, but today I got northern beans.
Do you have a giant bottle of Côte de Rhône to have with it?
Yes, I do. I wish I did, actually. That would be good.
Then we're in business.
I know when I was in Tahiti one year, and I get the feeling the Tahitians didn't care a whole lot for the French people because they're forced to speak French instead of Tahitian.
Okay.
But
I get it.
I love the fact that they always had a nice bottle of wine on the table just with a hash mark, and you just mark it when you're done, and they would just charge you according to what you left.
So I had some buddies that went into the Coyote Roadhouse, and they did that with a bottle of bourbon, like Old West style.
Oh, jeez.
Like, just leave the bottle. They marked it with a Sharpie. You probably can't do that. I love the owners of the Coyote.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic.
Yeah,
plus
awesome.
he's a Bear fan.
Well, yeah. Well, they're like from old Hackney's family stuff.
Oh really?
Yeah, I believe so. I could be wrong. I think I asked them about it. I probably am now messing it up, and I'll get chastised about it later on. But they're really awesome. They're really active in the Wisconsin Tavern League, so that's where I see them a lot. Stuff like that.
I'm scooping it up and trying to get you a little bit of everything. And you could probably go through it if you want. Take the thyme sprigs out and take the bay leaf out if you wanted to. But if you get a little in there, so sue me.
Did you hear the really great dad joke?
No.
Why were the vegetables late?
I don't know.
They didn't have any time.
That is a good one, actually.
I just made it up, too.
Come on.
I know, seriously.
All right. Now, this is excellent, excellent with a nice loaf of French bread, which I don't have, but what else is pretty good? You might enjoy this. Drizzle a little olive oil on there.
Okay.
And
so I get the drizzle?
Yeah, and don't overdo it, and then maybe a little bit of fresh cracked pepper on the top. And now imagine this on a blustery day. The broth should be very light, not overpowering.
Yeah, I mean, like, stuff just breaks up. Even the thicker root vegetables are just perfect.
It's going to be hot, so be careful.
This is really satisfying. This is awesome. I mean, you get that great, you get the bouquet of the vegetables together. I mean, that's what I like about it. It's sort of like, I hate when, you have like a tomato-based soup or something like that where it's just like, it's tomato and then something that tastes
maybe
like
a tortellini gets thrown in there or something like that.
This one, like, if you really love your vegetables and you want to like try it.
You could eat them individually.
Yeah, and the broth is just really elegant and just has a great taste to it.
And you can kind of pick out that celery root.
Yeah, let me try some of that.
And it tastes like, I remember it was the smell when you were cutting it.
Yeah, and it's really soft too, like as stiff as it was.
Yep.
It's almost starchy like a potato,
it almost,
but it has more
and it
flavor.
It cooks quickly like a sweet potato does,
No, I think this is perfect. Give me a big pot of Pot-Au-Feu.
And then a piece of French bread and you're in business.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, that brings a close to our Door County dude, minus the Door County girl, obviously. Yeah. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll keep you in touch with all the great things happening around Door County, interviews, food making.
If you're shopping anything
trivia.
Scandinavian, just visit us at aljohnson.com. You can hit, I know everybody's looking for Christmas gifts or even just decorating ideas for Scandinavian items. Check us out. We've got 25% off the store now, and it's going to run through the end of the year. So if you're looking for something great like that, come. You can go check it out, and you may even get a really nice note from me since I write a lot of the notes in there to people.
Yeah, you don't think it's true? It's true. Yeah. Thousands of orders he gets, and he goes through every one of them.
Well, sometimes I write Annika on the bottom.
Yeah.
No, I don't do that. But thank you so much. Have a great day, and hej då.
Hej då.
Thanks for watching Door County Girl. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you next time.